Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Siegel and I'm a professor of migration studies, and this is a channel about all things migration. Today we are continuing with our country studies in-depth case study series and focusing specifically on Egypt. And in this video, we are going to talk about the current migration situation, modern day migration situation in Egypt right now. If you're interested in the history of migration in the country, please check out that video. And if you're interested in the policy and governance structures also around migration in Egypt, please check out that video. And if you're interested in other videos on other countries and different case studies, you can also check out that playlist here. Now let's jump right into the current situation of migration in Egypt today. So according to the last report released by the Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics in Egypt, the number of Egyptians abroad was reported at approximately 9.5 million. However, this number is definitely not precise, and we do see different numbers reported from different reporting agencies. So if we look just at what Egyptian consulates report abroad, we have around 13 million Egyptians who are registered abroad. It's also worth noting that the largest number of Egyptians are in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which is estimated at about 2 million Egyptians. In Europe, Italy is ranked first with regard to the number of Egyptian workers based there, and around 75% of Egyptian workers in Europe were reported to be living in Italy. As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, many Egyptians lost their jobs abroad and also had to return to the country. So we've seen a lot of more recent return migration. And in response to this wave of returnees, the Minister of Immigration proposed the formation of a committee consisting of representatives from different ministries to help Egyptians returning from abroad reintegrate in different aspects of society. Now let's turn to looking at Egyptian migrant stocks abroad from 1990 to today. And what you can see very clearly is that the number of migrants abroad has been increasing over time, and by far the majority is residing in Asia, and mainly in the Middle East and Gulf states, followed by Europe and North America, and other areas to a much lesser extent. If we look at main countries of destination for Egyptians, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are by far the most important countries for Egyptians abroad, followed by Kuwait, the United States, Qatar, Italy, Jordan, the United Kingdom, and Germany. Here you can also see the number of work permits issued to Egyptians to work abroad between 2006 and 2018. We actually haven't seen much of a change during this period. There was maybe a slight peak in 2014 and 15, but this has stayed relatively stable for the last 12 years. Egypt is also one of the top 20 origins of migrants abroad in general in the world today. It's actually ranked at number 19 in major sending countries around the world, at least as of 2019. Here we also see the top 20 African migrant countries in 2019. And again, we see here that Egypt is ranked number 2 in the top migrant sending countries in Africa. And definitely both in millions and as a percentage of the population, we do see that Egypt has an important role here. It does play a more important role in absolute terms. Egypt is a large country, a very populous country. So if you look at emigration as a percentage of the population, of course, it's quite a bit less, but in absolute terms, it is quite numerous. If we look also here at the top 20 migration corridors involving African countries as of 2019, you can also see here that Egypt plays a very important role, particularly the Egypt-Saudi Arabia corridor and the Egypt-United Arab Emirates corridor. So really playing a prominent role in corridors. If we look at remittances received in the country, you can see here remittances from 1980 till today, and really since the 2000s, remittances have really taken off in Egypt. So with large numbers of remittances going back to Egypt. Now let's turn our attention to foreign workers in Egypt. We also see here, this is foreign workers in Egypt from 2008 to 2019. And these have had some slight fluctuations, but also haven't changed that much over time. If we also look at the number of foreign workers in the government sector and public sector by gender, you can see very clearly in Egypt that the majority of immigrants in Egypt are male. Now let's look at the number of foreign workers in the private sector. And here you can also say this has stayed pretty stable since 2008 to 2019. But of course, there are many more migrants in the private sector than in the public sector, where we see very, very few. But the ratio stays similar in that there are many more male migrants also in this sector than female migrants. So now let's turn our attention to refugees and asylum seekers in Egypt. So as of the most recent UNHCR statistical report, the total population of refugees and asylum seekers was around 250,000 people in 2020. 50% of the population consists of Syrians, and then followed by Sudan, South Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Yemen, Iraq, Somalia, and others. Of course, the numbers that we're showing here, though, do not include numbers of failed asylum seekers that continue to live in Egypt after the rejection of their asylum application. Many asylum seekers also choose to not register with the UNHCR office, and then we can't determine kind of accurate total numbers of migrants in Egypt. So what I'm showing you here are really those who are registered and official, but we know there are quite a few more that are not documented. However, there's no data that can identify the total number of migrants residing in Egypt at this moment. Here you can see the distribution of registered asylum seekers and refugees by different cities in Egypt, where Cairo and Giza and Alexandria play probably the most important roles with registered asylum seekers and refugees. Here you can see the total number of people of concern by UNHCR status. So we have asylum seekers make up a larger portion than refugees, and stateless a very, very small minority. Again, if we look at the breakdown by country of origin of refugees and asylum seekers, nowadays Syria is the most important country, again followed by Sudan, South Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and others. So as you can see, immigration is an important component of migration today in Egypt, mainly to the Gulf states, to countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. But Egypt is also an important refugee and asylum seeker hosting country also. So there's really a mix and dynamics of what the migration situation looks like in Egypt today. I hope this just gave you a very quick and brief overview. As normal with all of my videos, I'll put all of the references down in the description below in case you're interested in reading up any more on the topic. Again, check out my other videos on the Egyptian situation, and if you're interested in other countries, please check those out too. Please do comment down below. Let us know your own experiences with migration. Let us know if you have any questions. Do also like this video if you liked it. Subscribe to this channel also so that you don't miss any other videos, because I come out with new videos every week. And I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.